People have been telling me to research CERN for years. Like, I want to say the first time may have been 2016. And I will pick it up and I will do, some research, and then it'll start to be a little bit, too much for me, and I'll put it back down. But today I picked it back up, and I'm going to explain what exactly CERN is and what they are doing and why people keep saying research CERN. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, CERN is the world's largest particle physics lab. Now I want you to take a moment to look at their logo. Just look what it's actually made out of. These are 3 6s that are intertwined. Also could be 9s depending on what you believe in, but we all know what that has been known to imply. But let's get into it. So CERN has created something called the Particle Accelerator Collider. It accelerates gold nuclei at the speed of light to recreate what is commonly known as the Big Bang. So essentially, CERN's entire existence is based upon disproving the Big Bang theory using science. But what's interesting is how they're playing on the religious terminology within their research with things such as antimatter and God particle, but we'll get more into that later. So I got this off of the CERN website. They believe that the Big Bang should have created equal amounts of matter and antimatter. So why is there far more matter than antimatter in the universe? Now, let me help you to understand. There is less than 1% of antimatter in the universe, the entire universe, the stars, the galaxies, the entire universe. There's less than 1% of antimatter. And they believe, due to the laws of nature, that there should be equal and opposite parts of antimatter. They believe that in the beginning, so this is quoted directly from the CERN website. During the first fractions of a second of the Big Bang, the hot and dense universe was buzzing with particle-antiparticle pairs popping in and out of existence. If matter and antimatter are created and destroyed together, it seems that the universe should contain nothing but leftover energy. Nevertheless, a tiny portion of matter, about 1 particle per billion, managed to survive. This is what we see today. In the past few decades, particle physics experiments have shown that the laws of nature do not apply equally to matter and antimatter. So fast forward a little bit in a paragraph, and it says some unknown entity intervening in the process in the early universe could have caused these oscillating particles to decay as matter more often than they decay as antimatter. Let's rewind that. Some unknown entity. Pay attention to the word. So antimatter does not absorb or reflect light. So for that reason, it is not visible. In part 2, we'll discuss more about the God particle and how they turned the collider back on July the 5th and what they can mean for us. This is part 2 on CERN and the Higgs boson, which was cleverly nicknamed the God particle. If you haven't already, please go and check out part 1 so that you can better understand and follow along. So the physicists at CERN have been turning on the Particle Accelerator Collider since 2008. In 2012, where they discovered the Higgs boson, which is commonly referred to as the God particle. Correction, the particle was actually proposed by Peter Higgs and 5 other theorists in 1964, but it was confirmed to be a real thing in 2012 by CERN. So the God particle is said to be the fundamental building block of all creation. So July the 5th of this year, 10 years after the initial discovery of the Higgs boson, the physicists have turned this machine back on, essentially to research the Higgs boson, but also dark matter. So what the physicists are doing, they are recreating dark matter in an effort to study it. But they are creating dark matter, or antimatter, or antichrist. Are you guys following me, or am I going too far too soon? Hold on. Everything in the universe is made up of this right here. This is matter. This is antimatter. It does not absorb or reflect light. So when matter and antimatter collide, they are supposed to annihilate one another. However, so when the Big Bang happened, this is what was in collision. The matter over here and the antimatter over here. But for every 1 billion antimatter, there was 1,000,000,001 matter. So from the very beginning, it has never been equal or opposite, which is how all of creation came into existence. So Stephen Hawking warned CERN against doing this experiment, and he said that recreating the Big Bang is extremely dangerous because it can literally destroy all humanity. However, they turned this machine back on July the 5th of this year, and it is set to be open or on for the next 4 years. And while it is on, they are actively creating more dark matter. And they have no idea what that dark matter is going to do to the universe. And on top of that, it has always been an imbalance for a reason. Their obsession with disproving the Big Bang Theory is opening us up to a lot of dark energy. And I'm not just throwing terminologies around. Pause to read. So the reason why people are saying to research CERN in relation to evil acts like that shooting is because they believe that this is opening a portal and letting dark energy, dark matter in, causing an imbalance. Now, everything I said prior to this video might have sounded like a bunch of scientific terminology. I broke it down as much as I could, but I'm a visual person, so this video is for my visual learners. This right here is the Lord Shiva statue that's located in the courtyards of the CERN laboratories. Now, who exactly is Lord Shiva, you may ask, and why is she in the courtyards of the CERN laboratories? Let's get into it. Please excuse me if I mispronounce anything. I mean, absolutely no disrespect. So according to learnreligions.com, the Hindu god Shiva is believed to be the core of the centrifugal force of the universe due to its responsibility for death and destruction. Unlike the godhead Brahma, the creator, or Vishnu, the preserver, Shiva is the dissolving force in life. But Shiva dissolves to create, since death is necessary for rebirth into a new life. But Shiva dissolves to create, since death is necessary for rebirth into a new life. So the opposites of life and death, creation and destruction, both reside within his character. Now, out of all the gods in existence, why the god of destruction? It truly makes you wonder about their true intentions. This is the sign located in front of the statue. I want you guys to take a moment to pause and read. Now, about 6 years ago, there was a video that surfaced that showed some sort of ritual that was taking place in the courtyard of CERN. Trigger warning, I'm going to show a part of this video. Now, CERN is saying that the video is not real. However, I just find it hard to believe, being that I am sure that this area is heavily secured, along with it being lit. So, trigger warning may make you uncomfortable. Click off now if you don't want to see it.
Böse Folgen. Ein Amateurvideo vom renommierten Genfer Forschungszentrum CERN sorgt im Netz für Aufruhr. Die Aufnahmen zeigen die vermeintliche Hinrichtung einer Frau direkt vor der Shiva-Statue am Zentrum. Der Mann hinter der Kamera scheint nicht zu ahnen, was gleich passieren wird. Die mit Kutten vermummte Gruppe marschiert auf den Platz. Einer Frau wird das Gewand abgenommen, sie legt sich auf den Boden, dann sieht es danach aus, als würde sie mit einem Messer erstochen.
Now, I'm not going to show too much more of that video, but that is located at the CERN laboratories. And I just can't imagine that many amount of people being able to just sneak in and, whatever. So, I want to know you guys' thoughts. I'm not saying that everything that I've shown you here today is actual and factual. I've taking these things right off of CERN's websites or other reputable sources. But I want to know your thoughts. How does that video make you feel? How does this information make you feel? Are you intrigued? Are you afraid? Let's talk.